nanalo ng Family Feud ng Team Firefighters ng 200,000 pesos.
Family Feud, 5:40 p.m.
Hindi ka nang ere na patcha ng 2025 kaya balik pa na ating patch house ngayong taon ito. Manood magdarap na na-rest na sa Pwede.page dito sa Pi.
Our one-of-a-kind JKM Burger Pizza, the perfect fusion of flavors that
Nagmamano pa.
That's okay.
This is DW News and these are our top stories. A new aid system for Gaza endorsed by Israel has started operations. The US-backed Gaza Humanitarian Foundation has taken over aid distribution despite objections from the UN. The foundation's director has also resigned, saying the group would not be allowed to operate independently. Israel had pushed for an alternative aid system to stop Hamas seizing supplies. German Chancellor Friedrich Merz has criticized Israel's recent attacks on Gaza, saying they can no longer be justified by the fight against Hamas terrorism. Israel has escalated its military operation in Gaza in recent weeks. Gazan health officials said almost 50 people were killed in airstrikes on Monday. British police have ruled out terrorism after a vehicle plowed into fans celebrating Liverpool's Premier League title win. They have arrested a 53-year-old man in connection with the incident. Hundreds of thousands of supporters were watching the team's victory parade through Liverpool. Dozens were injured and 27 people have been taken to hospital. This is DW News from Berlin. You can get more news on our website at dw.com.
The time is 6:45 p.m. Today is Tuesday, May 27th, 2025. It's 31 and cloudy there. Tonight, the forecast is around 27 degrees and cloudy. Here's a joke to start your morning. Okay, here you go. What sound do porcupines make when they kiss? Ouch. There are 4 entries for today. Next up, you have dinner at 7:30 p.m. Here's the rest. You have one task. Today at 3 p.m. light rain. Google Gemini is now signing on. All programs telecast on this station have been approved by the Movie and Television Review and Classification Board. Anyway, too many requests from short time period. Don't voice speaking and type from Google Gemini. So until evening at 9:50 p.m. Have a great day. Here's the latest news.
From DW Newsbrief at 4 p.m. today.
This is DW News and these are our top stories. A new aid system for Gaza endorsed by Israel has started operations. The US-backed Gaza Humanitarian Foundation has taken over aid distribution despite objections from the UN. The foundation's director has also resigned, saying the group would not be allowed to operate independently. Israel had pushed for an alternative aid system to stop Hamas seizing supplies. German Chancellor Friedrich Merz has criticized Israel's recent attacks on Gaza, saying they can no longer be justified by the fight against Hamas terrorism. Israel has escalated its military operation in Gaza in recent weeks. Gazan health officials said almost 50 people were killed in airstrikes on Monday. British police have ruled out terrorism after a vehicle plowed into fans celebrating Liverpool's Premier League title win. They have arrested a 53-year-old man in connection with the incident. Hundreds of thousands of supporters were watching the team's victory parade through Liverpool. Dozens were injured and 27 people have been taken to hospital. This is DW News from Berlin. You can get more news on our website at dw.com.
overloaded, which is a pretty polite way of responding to such a and I suppose the big picture here is people are trying to work out, is the peace process just falling apart, or is this just the rhetoric before someone does a deal?
Do they think this could lead to US sanctions? Trump has so far refused to join European countries in imposing new sanctions on Russia.
I think you got to take it seriously when Trump says it, right? He says that he wants peace in Ukraine, right? And I think he's finding it really difficult. And it is obviously very difficult. A lot of people have been killed, a lot of blood's been spilled, a lot of money's been spent. So yeah, I think it's a sign that perhaps he's getting slightly weary of it all.
And where does this leave things on the battlefield?
Well, the war is continuing. It's actually intensifying. While all the world leaders talk about peace, the drones are flying, the missiles are flying, civilians are being killed, soldiers are being killed, Russia's advancing, and we're just moving out of spring. Obviously, the snow's melted, and now it's summer, which is prime time, wartime.
The European Union plans to fast-track trade talks with the US after President Trump dropped a threat to impose 50% tariffs on EU imports from next month. Carmel Crimmins has more.
Europe got a reprieve after Trump had a call with European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen. He's gone back to a July 9th deadline to allow more time for negotiations. But even with those extra weeks,
carries up to 20 years in prison, which is the highest.
And now to Uruguay and an investment scheme that's embroiling the cattle industry there. That's no small thing in the South American country, where the cattle outnumber the people. Correspondent Lucinda Elliott has been following one woman, Sandra Palero, on a journey to find her investment and her life savings, wrapped up in this case of phantom cows and financial fraud.
So Sandra's an accountant who had put her life savings into this livestock investment fund because she liked the idea of owning a tangible asset. She actually owned cows, livestock, and it seemed a safe bet. She started to have concerns late last year when several livestock investment firms announced that they were struggling to meet their obligations to investors. These companies were essentially insolvent. When it appeared that some of the animals might be sold off as part of these bankruptcy filings, she took matters into her own hands and decided to travel 600 kilometers to the far northern border with Brazil. Sandra started to share how she was feeling and actually at moments got very emotional about it.
En búsqueda de algunas de las vacas que compré, vacas preñadas que compré a través de Conexión Ganadera.
She wanted to verify where they actually were.
So how common are schemes like this?
So similar investment schemes throughout South America, in Argentina, in Brazil, and many are legitimate. 3 of the biggest firms under investigation for fraud in Uruguay managed to persuade 600,000 people to buy into the program by promising some fixed 7 to 10% dollar returns, investing millions of dollars. And those 3 firms fell into a kind of legal grey zone. The ministry didn't actually comment to us, to Reuters, because the investigation is ongoing.
So, getting back to Sandra, where does this leave her and her phantom cows?
When we arrived, several farmhands explained that they'd been moving the cows out into the fields shortly. So using her smartphone camera, Sandra, she's zooming in on the tracking numbers pinned to the animal ears in order to cross-reference, right, between what was documented and what was staring at her on the other side of the fence. And it soon became clear that few of the numbers actually matched with what was in the printout from the registry. So she's still unsure whether they exist or whether they don't.
And for today's recommended read, the new drone arms race between India and Pakistan. Both countries are set to invest heavily in drones after recent fighting, when the neighbours used large numbers of unmanned aerial vehicles against each other. You can find out more on the story by following the link in the pod description. For more on any of the stories from today, check out Reuters.com or the Reuters app. Don't forget to follow us on your favourite podcast player And we'll be back tomorrow with our daily headline show.
That's it for your news updates. To see more stories, open Google News.